Okay, so here we are in Microsoft 2020. Just to see, I really don't use it that much anymore. It's more 2024. Apart from when I want to use Chase Plane and Parallel 42 Flow Pro. It's been so long since I used them, I can't even remember the name. Okay, so the NVIDIA driver is reading 60 FPS and the Sim's reading 170 FPS. So there's a bit of a difference there. And it's using 3.2 of 10 gigs. Well, 3.2 of 9. So I take a Windows using 1 gig of the VRAM. But we're going to go to New York again. Jump in with the Robinson down at the helipad. Pick the right helipad. This is departure. We'll do a flight around New York again. Default New York. I don't know, did the sim update New York in the last while or not? I can't remember. I think I've left it as default New York. So the great thing is Flow Pro. With the magic of Flow Pro, and we've got our Chase Plane on as well. We can set our time to... Oh, I missed this in 2024. Parallel 42, you need to get Flow Pro in quick. We can set it to 8 o'clock in the morning. 7:59. Leave it on live weather. I think it was raining. So we are running. What are we running? We're running options. This is my 2020 settings. Oh, we have it on ultra performance. We have it on ultra performance under the DLSS. Super resolution. I'm not going to get into it too much. I just want to do this, and then when we put in the 7090 RTX, see is there any jump in FPS or anything. So again, NVIDIA is not matching the same. Okay. We'll do one flight around on the low settings. Low end, DX12, low end, everything is low. Terrain level of detail 25, object level of detail 25, everything is low or off. Let's go back and resume. I do remember when we were in 2024 sitting here, we were getting 100 FPS. So it's a bit weird we're only getting 64 in 2020. Maybe because it's not optimized. Okay, so let's do our flight recording. So let's take off, do our usual flight down around Statue of Liberty and then head up through New York up to the as I say it was Central Park to the end of it and take a right, come down the Hudson under all the bridges like we did in 2024. Enough talking. We're getting a solid 60, 54 FPS, which is not good on the low end settings in 2020. But we were getting 100 FPS on 2024. Let's head out to the Statue of Liberty, do a bit of a flight around her, come back in towards the city. I would have thought that 2020 should be giving me higher FPS. 2024. apparently not. Apparently 2024 is way more optimized, so we're giving 2024 a hard time. And the VRAM on the low end of 2020 running a 3080 10 gig VRAM is not really using much of the VRAM on low end. FPS is staying probably at a constant 60. But I'm not impressed with 2020. When 2024 was green and 100 FPS at this stage. Let's say I'll run the low end one and then we'll whack it up to full ultra max. And I would think if we're only getting 60 FPS at this stage on low end settings, I haven't messed with anything, only done the low end settings. If we're getting 60 FPS on the low end settings, if I whack it up to a lot of tearing coming in there as well, I can see. Whack it up to ultra max. I reckon it will kill 3080. And we're running at 1440 as well. Not running it at 4K. For this one. I don't think we'll actually get it to 4K. If this is anything to go by. Try and get to the same buildings. Everything's a bit grey here today. We'll try and come in across the same buildings as we did in the last one. I think we came up here. Looking out the window, New York looks oddly a bit more realistic in 2020, even though the buildings aren't. We've got the new, not sure what to call it, it's not the replacement for the Twin Towers. We'll come up here, try and keep it low so we can go between the buildings and see. We're on the 50 FPS. Go down here, make sure we can get. But yeah, this was 100 FPS in 2024. I'm not sure why we're only getting in the 50s in 2020. Maybe because it wasn't optimized correct, or wasn't. We'll head up here towards Empire State Building. I'll actually go down here, try and keep it low, and get as much objects. Yeah, we're down to the 40s. This is not boding well for 2020 at all. Can we actually go past the Empire State Building? I think we can. What sort of detail we're getting? We head up here. Try and not take ourselves out in the buildings. But do remember what they're saying, rain and New York is hard on GPUs, and it is raining. We're going pretty close to buildings here. So we are, we should be okay. Out on the Central Park. It's looking pretty cloudy. I can remember where I turned right on 2024. I think we went down to the end of Central Park. Again, we're steady on 50, mid 50. VRAM's jumped up a bit to 4.6. This is low end 2020 with the 3080 10 gig VRAM card. I think we went right down here, I think. As far as I can remember. Down towards the river. There seems to be a lot more buildings here. Got an F-35 and a Cessna 127 in the air as well. Come down here onto the river. Now, oddly enough, in 2024, around here was where it used to drop FPS for some reason. Whether something wasn't optimized. I don't think that island in the center looked as good as it does. We're not dropping, we're keeping a steady 55. Of course, the buildings are all going to be lower because we're running the low end. And we got whacked out bridges you can't fly under. Not sure whether that's going to... Ooh, we got cars on top of the bridge. Can't even remember, I don't think that bridge was in 2024. Sort of solid 50, mid 50s on the low end. The helicopter isn't, there's a lot of gauges are looking a bit wonky and a bit not right there. Again, 1440 resolution. Be interesting to see when we switch over to high resolution. Not sure whether I should. It'll take me another 2 hours to do all the rest. Maybe if we came to medium and then to high and then to ultra and then ultra max. Let's see, we might do a medium one and see. And let it auto fly around. As we go under the bridge, we do. I must say this bridge looks a bit nicer than 2024, in the distance at least. This is the Brooklyn Bridge, isn't it? I always get them confused. Under this one, it should be okay. Is this the Brooklyn Bridge? I can never remember which one is which. Ooh, that was a tight one. We should be heading down here to the helipad. Coming up another here, I think. Yep. That's been a solid mid-50s FPS on low end 2020. Let's bring it in here. Slowly but surely. Try not to ditch it. That light's coming close. Okay. Let's try and get as close to the H as we can. It should be. Okay, it's gonna be a bit of a... Oh, not the smoothest, but that is that on low end. And that was 50s. We're talking mid 50s. Sitting here, it goes up to 60, but mid 50s. So now if we switch over to just switch it over, we'll leave everything else 1440 full screen, ultra performance, VSync is off, latency is on, DX12, let's switch it to medium. Doubles the terrain level of detail and object level of detail, which is up a lot of stuff to medium. We'll apply that and let's go here. Now, we're off in a second. This is medium on the 3080, 10 gigs VRAM in 2020 New York. Ooh, okay, don't get... What? Okay. I'm not sure what that was. You should be flying, you shouldn't be caring. Let me pause this for a second and see. Okay, so this time we're going to do the high-end settings. Go into general and we've left everything else the same and we've just set it to high-end. Okay. Global settings, high-end, which sets the terrain level of detail to 100 and the object level of detail to 100 and everything else is high or off or on, medium. Okay, so we'll do that and we'll apply, go back, resume, and we'll let it take off. We're down around the 40s on the high end. And our VRAM is shot up to 5.2. That stupid low RPM is on again. I should have full throttle on here. I should have full throttle. And yes, that's off. So we're on using 5. Funny enough, the VRAM is 5 of 6. Does that mean that Windows is using VRAM for something else? Okay. We're on a constant 40 here. On the high setting on the 3080, 10 gigs of VRAM in Flight Sim 2020 in New York. The VRAM's gone down a bit. Card utilization is hovering around the 50%. And the temp is staying there as well. So it's not like I'm going to be using 2020 all that much. I just wanted to see, just as a baseline, what the 3080 was able to do in 2020 now. So the high is around 40s, low 40s, as we come around the Statue of Liberty. Not the most exciting of tests. Testing the car to see. Again, it's not the FPS chase. I don't care if it was running 1 FPS if the sim was smooth. But what I'd rather do is somebody that isn't using 2024, that's using 2020 and is asking themselves, is it worth getting a AMD 7900 XTX? Is it RTX or XTX? XTX, I think it is. This is just a baseline test for the 3080 I have. The 3080 can run the high settings in 2020 smooth enough. It is using a little over half its VRAM. Interesting again to see what the Ultra does. And then what the Ultra Max. The only difference in the Ultra is the Ultra I'll use just the Ultra settings on the same. Ultra Max I'm just going to whack up the terrain level of detail and the objects level of detail to max and see is there any difference. Possibly not expecting it. I'm expecting it should run the Ultra one. Okay. It's gonna drop, I'd say, to the 30s. Ultra Max one, 2024 sort of broke the card at that stage. It was stutters and down in the teens FPS. As we come into the city, it looks pretty nice out the window. FPS are staying pretty much stable in the 40s. Surprised that the sim isn't utilising much of the card. It's only utilising 50%. the sim looks smooth as, no stutters, no missed FPS or anything. And again, I'm not going to add in the setting to add in the extra what you call it, the extra frames. I want the grunt of the card. Just let the card do what the card does. I'm not going to use any of that extra adding in frames, frame gen stuff. And the truth is probably crazy doing this test. People would ask, why are you bothering to do this test? I think, as I said before, it's more to allow users out there that have maybe a 20 series card that want to update their card to 30 series or even further up to the AMD series that I've updated to this 7900, for them to see what can a 3080 do, and is it really needed, or is their 20 series still running this 2020 okay? Okay, so we're coming in under the Manhattan Bridge. And up to the Brooklyn Bridge. Those are pretty much solid 40 FPS for high end. Let's see how much FPS does it drop when we put it onto Ultra. And then finally we put it onto Ultra Max. See how much does it drop. Come down here onto the helipad. I reckon the low RPM could kick in a minute. I think it might be okay. Again, we nearly took out those lights, I think. There we go. We're down. We jump in and switch it over to Ultra. Leave all the other settings the same. Over to Ultra, which puts the train level of detail up to 200. Object level of detail is already maxed out at 200. I'll leave it at 200 then. Everything else is Ultra and Medium. Last cockpit, let's apply that. See how much. Oh, okay. Go back. Resume. Right, we're in the 30s. We're in the 20s. Let's get this set back up again. It's me messing about with shock in it. It's causing it a bit. Let's settle there. 30s. 57. Let's take off here on the Ultra test. We're in the low 30s, dipping into the 20s. GPU hasn't shot up all that much. The VRAM has gone crazy. So it has. It was up to 8 a second ago, I think. And our warning is on again. Low RPM. I don't know where that came out of, because it didn't come out of the first flight. Our VRAM is shot up to 6.4. We're holding steady at about 32 FPS. And it's still running smooth on 1440. So it still works okay on Ultra. 2020 Ultra on a 3080, 10 gigs of VRAM is pretty impressive. it's not pretty much not pushing the graphics card all that much, even though it's using more VRAM. It's up in the 6 now. We'll sit back and we will do this flight in Ultra around New York. Then we'll whack up the terrain level of detail up to 400 and see. And maybe then switch it to 4K and see, can we break the card? Can we bring it down to the teens like we did for 2024? As you come around the Statue of Liberty here, looking pretty good. Ultra detail on it. Bit of tearing, alright. Past Ellis Island here. That looks pretty good on Ultra as well. Getting some nice detail on that. We're getting pretty good FPS still. Looks like the 3080 is able to handle 2020 okay on Ultra. And it really hasn't used, it's only using half the GPU. And 30% on CPU. Of course, at this stage it wasn't multi-thread enabled. I must admit, we're getting good views out here. we come up here to the... Why is this gone out of my head what this is? And it wouldn't be much good of a tourist guide here. Oh my god, dude. Remember what building is this? Empire State Building. Oh my god. As we come up to the Empire State Building, what are we looking? We've not gone past it yet. They're still looking melted. Empire State Building looks nice. We're getting 30 FPS in Ultra. Look down here. Okay. Oh, it's looking okay. But the sim is running smooth as. Zoom in here. You see all our settings. We're now using 7.3 VRAM. So it likes the VRAM. If it's there, it's going to use it. Dipping into the 20s FPS. This is always a good way to test out the cards and that. Test out the sim, low flying, slow. Will we see much difference when we up the grain level of detail to 400? Will that affect the FPS? GPU is now using a bit more into the 60%, 70. Okay. Well, the VRAM looks like it's using more of the GPU. I'm not sure whether I'll do the same test of going outside the aircraft. That seemed to use more FPS as well. Not that you're going to be sitting outside the aircraft all the time. And I think nighttime, from what I can remember in 2024, nighttime was actually better in FPS. It used less. Of course, all of this is just solo flying, so it'd be a different story if we were trying to test it with multiplayer, I'm sure. Again, it's interesting, when we came down here in 2024, we seemed to drop FPS for some reason. Oh, there's a stutter there. I wonder what that was. It's 7, nearly 7, 6.9 of 7 VRAM. I think that's the first stutter of the whole test I've seen. But then looking at the buildings, we're in Ultra. I'm expecting too much of Ultra. Ultra, we're getting... The buildings, okay. Are still like apocalyptic. Like end of days. Now what's that other one? 28 days later? 28 weeks later? The zombie one. It has that look about it. You see, there's nothing really high detail down there. And this bridge is still... Okay, so that bridge, no matter how much ultra you're getting, that bridge is always going to be blanked out. So it's staying pretty much 30 FPS. It looks like that's what it's going to be, 30 FPS average. At this stage in 2024, I think we were in the 20s FPS at the Ultra. Definitely with 4K Ultra, Max Ultra, we're in... If I can find it here, where my results for it are. We're definitely... Look at my results on this one. Now me looking it up on Google is probably not going to help the FPS. Now bringing it down. Okay, so at this stage on 2024 at Ultra Max. This isn't actually Ultra Max either. At Ultra 1440 we were at 45 FPS. So it was better. At low end we were at 100 FPS. Medium we're at 80 FPS. High we were at 65. Ultra, which we're on now, we're at 45 instead of 32, so it's more optimized 2024. Then Ultra Max would have been 2025, so Ultra Max is where I'm going to up the next one to terrain level of detail up to 400 and see. And then the killer on 2024 course was Ultra Max 4K, which was 17 FPS and pretty much unflyable with a 3080. That is demanding too much of a 3080. The other test I need to do is probably VR. And I'm expecting 2024 to crap itself when I try the crystal light. I don't even know, do I get off the ground in low 1440 or in low settings in the crystal light in 2024 here in New York. I reckon we won't even get off the ground. So that could end that test. 2020, yeah, it should fly a couple of, maybe up to, maybe high, not sure. when we come around here and land this time, we'll switch it up to Ultra Max. And we might as well do, it's going to take a while, might as well do the Ultra Max outside 1440 and the Ultra Max night 1440 and see. Because the Ultra Max outside seemed to have been worse than the Ultra Max 4K. This is all 2024. I suppose I should have taken note of what each thing was here. While I was doing the test, I should have done a note of what each setting was. Would have been the ideal thing to do, wouldn't it? While we're flying around. As we come in here for a land on Ultra, the Ultra would have been 30, maybe 30 FPS. Now if we go Ultra Max on the next one, low RPM again. Here on Ultra, we'll switch it to we're down. We stop it on that. Switch it to Ultra Max. So when I say Ultra Max, I mean we leave everything else here on top. Did I just switch that? Scared just in case. Down here, Ultra. When I say Ultra Max, I mean 400 and 200. Apply that. And see, does that make any difference at all? Oh, yeah, it has made a difference. It's now going, oh, the GPU is shot up to 70, 80. FPS has dropped to 20s. Low 20s, high teens. The VRAM is 7.6. I don't even know where we're going to be able to fly this. This is going to be interesting to see whether this will actually work or not. This might actually break it before we even get off the ground. Okay, let's try it. Oh, we're in the teens. We're not going to be... Ultramax is not happy. I don't know, will we get much further than this? I definitely don't know, will we get Ultramax 4K? Definitely don't think we mightn't. Okay, we're settled up in the 20s again. 23. Let's say 22 FPS. R23 constant. Maybe 23 average. That's down a good 6 to 7 FPS. The weather's getting worse here, so maybe that's my playing a part in it as well. So now we're on Ultramax in 2020, running on a 3080. It's an ordinary 3080, 10 gigabytes VRAM. Using 7 VRAM. I'm not sure how that works. It's using 7 VRAM of 6. 7 of 6. 7 of 7. It's maxing out on it. Windows has decided it's not going to give us the 10 gigs anymore. It's not going to give us anywhere. I can't work out whether the bad weather is helping. With the FPS, it might be. It's slightly increased FPS again. But we're definitely in the red on the same FPS counter. Getting ultra detail on stuff. You can see detail of the boat there. We're going back up to the 30s again on FPS, which is weird. Away from the city, maybe. That's your Liberty? There's good detail on that. Likely. There's pretty good detail on that. So the FPS has gone up a bit. You can barely see the city with the mist. We even tried to do Ultramax outside in the night when or not. I don't know whether it's worth doing it or not. I think flying outside, we have got a lot more ships and boats out here. Yachts at 400. But this island looks pretty detailed. Not bad. 30 FPS. That's weird, it's gone up to 30 FPS again. Now the detail of New York stands out a lot more. Manhattan. Manhattan. But even in the mist here, the buildings are more detailed. You can see the new, do they call it the new trade center or whatever they call it? There's a, I'm not sure what they call it now. I'm not actually sure what they call it. It's over there, and you can see, oh, that too looks a lot better. One World Trade Center, that's what it's called, isn't it? One World Trade Center is the new one. I shouldn't be shooting around here too much, because that's definitely going to drop FPS. Leave it like the other ones. You'll see how it goes into the teens when you start looking around too much. I'm not sure whether anyone will ever give a flip about this in 2020, doing these tests. It's always good to have it out there. Okay, so it seems to be running at a constant 23, 22. Whoa, 8.6 VRAM. It's really... And now the GPU is starting to up into the 80s. But right now the GPU is starting to really work. Pretty much for 2024, this is what the GPU was running in the 90s. But the sim still seems to be, even at 21 FPS, seems to be running smooth. Unless I start to move around in the helicopter, of course. That's when it really, yeah, you can notice it. Ultra Max, I think, has not quite got into the teen FPS yet, but in the low 20s. And now we're getting, okay, now we're getting stutters, and that is with the the VRAM maxing out at 9.1. That's where the stutters are coming. So it looks like ultra setting max 1440. Pretty much maxed out the... Can't really fly it with this, I don't think. But then my thoughts are, does it really matter what card you have in 2020? But even the higher, although the VRAM should help. Interesting to see what the 7900 does at Ultra Max 1440. 3080 is. Now you're down into the high teen FPS. Things are beginning to look like slow motion here. Everything is red over on the same FPS counter. So even though it's running smooth, it feels like we're running in slow motion. took ages on that one. And it looks to be FPS is way down, so Ultra Max is looking like it's going to be the max for 2020. And then here with low RPM and set her down. I don't even know, would we bother testing it on outside Ultra Max and Night Ultra Max. Might try Night Ultra Max and see. Get down here, everything has gone really slow. It's maxing out the VRAM. It's red on everything. It's taking forever to land. Then we're down. So what we might do is we'd switch it to nighttime and see. We'll use Flow Pro. Handy. Into nighttime. Actually help out. I don't see any improvement. Put it back here and start it here at night time and see if we get anything. $24. I don't think we're going to get anything out of it at night time. It's not going to improve it any. The VRAM is still pretty high. CPU is maxed out at 99%. Well, I reckon nighttime is going to be a fail. 122 on it. Pretty much the same as daytime at Ultra Max 1440. And you can't see anything at all. No, we're going to say that's a fail. Let's speed it up a bit to get around. Speed it up to 4 times, can we? This is 4 times and see. Four times normal. 24. I'd say 23 again average. it's coming down now. We're coming in here 4 times the speed of normal. Yeah, it's still flying. I wouldn't think it'll be. You're down into 18, 15. Oh, really bad stutters. That's not good. We've maxed out the VRAM completely. We pretty much maxed the card out. Wouldn't be flying much on this. We slow it back down to normal, I wonder. Pause there for a sec. That's normal, and nah, we're in the teens, we're in the. Now we can see that's a fit. Night time, you're talking about average 20. Can't fly to that. We'll pause that one and we'll just bring it on to landing. It'll land, so you're on 20 for nighttime. It's not going to work at nighttime. We don't even have a light on, do we? That's a definite no for Ultra Max nighttime. We'll try one more. Is Ultra Max 4K, and I don't even think we will get off the ground with Ultra Max 4K. I reckon the FPS will drop through the floor. No, it's gone back up a bit, FPS here, as you get in. Less buildings, possibly. You pretty much couldn't fly the sim like that. Couldn't really, even though the FPS has increased a bit and the VRAM's dropped a little bit. Once we get it done here, we'll switch it to 4K. And I think the 4K will do it in somehow. We're down. Stop it on that. And let's first of all switch back to 8 o'clock about. Roughly. And 59, 8 o'clock. And switch the see how much does it drop when I switch here to 4K. Max the card out. Keep the changes. I don't think we'll even back. Resume. Oddly enough, the FPS has increased. The VRAM has, yeah. Now, we're at 4K. Is it even going to... Let's settle down for a sec. Three, we might get it to... Let's just bring it back again. There. Okay. I must admit 4K. Okay, yeah, 22. 4K does look good, but as you can see, we ain't flying this anywhere at 4K. No. No. 4K is a no-no. And funny enough, I think we got 4K working on 2024, but you're not getting 4K working on here. VRAM is maxed. Yeah, it's not stutter sissy, it's more slow motion. And even if I up the slow to 4 times, pause it here for a sec, and put us 4 times quicker. This is just a recording 4 times quicker. It looks nice. It does look nice, but you couldn't fly it like this. This is me up in the flight control with replay 4 times quicker. Nah, it wouldn't work. If we pause it there and put it back, normal. Try and you can see we don't look like we're. It's weird. Not stuttering, but it's slowed way down. Quality is good. great quality out of it, but I don't think you could fly the same. It gets down around the 20s, low 20s, into the high teens FPS. 2020 is not really flyable. So the quality looks good. I'm getting a lot of tearing though. I guess it's still flying. No, I would have to say that's a no on 4K Max Ultra. Pause it there and we'll forward it on. Let it land over here, see. Okay. Steady itself there. $12 FPS. Oh, here we go, stutters. Slow motion. Yes, it looks nice, but it's like we're running everything on slow motion. Yeah, that has pretty much killed it. No, not in the red anymore, we're in the purples. So I would say, oh, we are on 10, we are gone over VRAM. I don't even know how it's still going. We're in 10.3 VRAM. I don't know how it's still going. As you can see, it's like a slideshow on the right. It's pretty much stutter city, stutter fest here. Yeah, you're not gonna run Microsoft 2020 on Ultra Max on a 4K screen. Then again, I've got 3 other screens open as well, but it's not gonna work. You're maxing the VRAM out completely. You're absolutely hammering the hell out of it. It's over. It's 10.3 of 10. I don't even know how it's 10.3 VRAM. The car doesn't even have 10.3. It's got 10. GPU is 99% pretty much utilized. CPU, yeah, as expected, is not doing much. And your FPS is pretty much around 18. It does look nice on the screen. But yeah, that's not gonna work. Definitely not gonna work. So 4K is a no on that. Because even if I try to do something on the computer with that, that's not gonna... Talking 18 FPS. Yeah, here we go. Let's stutter completely. That's... Again, looks nice. What I'm looking on the screen looks nice. Looks clear. 4K always looks good with the dials and everything. It's just not able to run. You can read everything on this perfect from 4K. As you can see, it's just ghost and everything. And it's like it's on slow motion on screen. But definitely, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna... That's the last test, so pretty much anything after... Get to land in here. I might land eventually. That's how slow it's going. That's because it's maxed out everything. So 3080 really breaks on Ultra Max 4K. It's not able to run it. You couldn't run the sim like that. And 3080 is not going to run 2020 at 4K Ultra Max. And we're down on the last one. So what I can work out is that 2020, let's put it there, we'll put the results at the end as well. So running 2020 Microsoft Flight Sim using 3080, 10 gigabytes VRAM, non-TI, it's 3080 RTX 3080, 10 gigabytes. On low settings, 1440, you're getting 60. On medium, you're getting about 47. That one cut short a bit, but you can get 47. High, you're getting about 40. Ultra, you're getting about 30 FPS. Ultra Max, which is just Ultra with the terrain level of detail pushed up to 400, you're getting about 23, but that's really pushing. You're not flying at that stage, you're not going to be able to fly it. Ultra Max outside, same thing. Forget it, it's slowed down to nothing. It's stutter, it's low motion, you can't fly it. Ultra Max night at 1440, same thing, you're not going to fly it. even though 2024 did fly, you're not gonna fly it at that. That's just stutter fest again. And Ultra, if I can spell it. Ultra. Oh my god, my spellings are all over the place. Ultra Max 4K? No way. That's using 10.4 gigabytes of VRAM on a 10 gigabyte card. I don't even know how that's possible. It's 9.4 at the minute, but I don't even know how. You can't, it's unflyable. You can't use 3080. There's no way an RTX 3080, maybe a TI, but an ordinary 3080 is never going to run Flight Sim 2020 at Ultra Max 4K. You're not going to fly anywhere unless you're flying out in the middle of nowhere where there's nothing, maybe. But here in New York, nah, it's not going to work. At least for my own records, I know if we put in, when we put in the 7900 XTX and do a bit of a testing, it'll be cool to see what that does compared to this 3080. And we will leave it at that. And as I say, no one's probably ever going to watch any of this, but it's here, it's on the internet if anybody ever wants to see what a 3080 can do. How far can it go before Microsoft Flight Sim 2020 breaks it? And if any questions or anything, leave them in the comments below and I'll get back to you. For now, we'll leave it at that. What I should really do in the next one is probably a test in VR. I have a funny feeling that VR is not going to even work in 2024 because I have Crystal Light. 3080 is not going to run it, I don't think, even on SU2. 2020 maybe will run the same around New York like this and see if VR runs in 2020. I don't hold my breath on that even. It might on the lowest settings, but we're not going to be able to whack up the... Never are going to be able to whack up the Crystal Light on 3080 anyways. It was never designed for it. But as I say, I will leave that sitting here in 4K looking out in New York. It looks good in 4K. Just can't fly anything in it, that's all. That's all, you just can't fly anything, so we'll do an outro maybe. Yeah. But we'll leave it at that as we shoot out here from New York. Looking pretty good. We get great FPS now when we're up in the sky. And we'll talk to you later. Not sure what happened there.